Look at your life honestly, not with excuses, not with stories about time that has passed. Just look. Where are you standing right now? Most people wait for permission to begin. They wait for youth. They wait for the right moment. They wait until fear leaves them. But fear never leaves. Time never waits. And life does not care about your age. It only responds to your actions. Success has no age because growth has no age. A tree does not stop growing because it has seen many seasons. It grows as long as the roots are alive. You are the same. As long as you are breathing, you are capable of building yourself. But building yourself is not about motivation. It is about discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays when motivation disappears. Every day you wake up, you are training something. Either you are training strength or weakness. Either you are training focus or distraction. Either you are training courage or fear. There is no neutral day. Even when you do nothing, you are training yourself to do nothing. Understand this clearly. Small actions repeated daily shape the person you become. People often blame time for where they are in life. They say, if only I had started earlier. If only I were younger. If only I had more time. But time is not the problem. Time passes for everyone equally. What separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is not age or timing, but daily discipline. Discipline is the quiet decision to show up, even when nothing feels exciting, even when results are not visible, even when motivation is gone. Time simply reveals what discipline has been building beneath the surface. Think about this clearly. A year will pass whether you act or not. 5 years will pass whether you improve or not. Time does not wait for readiness, excuses, or fear. It moves forward relentlessly. The question is not how much time you have left, but how you use the time you are given today. One person uses time to strengthen skills, mindset, and character. Another uses the same time to delay, complain, and distract. After years, the difference looks dramatic, but it was created by small, disciplined actions repeated daily. Discipline is misunderstood. People think it means forcing yourself with anger or pressure. In truth, discipline is self-respect. It is the ability to keep promises you make to yourself. When you say you will wake up early, and you do, discipline grows. When you say you will train your body, and you do, discipline grows. When you say you will focus instead of scrolling, and you do, discipline grows. Each small act sends a message to your mind that you are reliable. Confidence is built this way, not through words but through behavior. Many wait for motivation to arrive before acting. This is a trap. Motivation is emotional and unstable. It comes when conditions are perfect and disappears when discomfort arrives. Discipline does not depend on feelings. Discipline acts because it understands long-term consequences. On days you feel inspired, discipline works. On days you feel tired, discipline works. On days you feel doubtful, discipline still works. This is why discipline decides how far you go, not enthusiasm. Age often becomes a convenient excuse. Someone at 20 thinks they have time and delays effort. Someone at 40 thinks it is too late and avoids effort. Both are controlled by the same illusion. The truth is that improvement only happens in the present moment. Your nervous system, your muscles, your mind do not ask your age before adapting. They respond to consistent input. Train daily and the system adapts. Neglect daily and it weakens. This law does not change with birthdays. Look at mastery in any field. It is never created by occasional bursts of effort. It is built by repetition. Repetition creates efficiency. Efficiency creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum carries you forward when discipline feels heavy. But the starting point is always discipline. Doing the simple thing again and again until it becomes part of who you are. Daily discipline also protects you from regret. Regret is not caused by failure. It is caused by knowing you could have acted but chose comfort instead. When you discipline yourself daily, even if progress is slow, you sleep with a clear mind. You know you are moving. That inner peace is strength. It keeps you grounded when results are delayed. Do not underestimate the power of small disciplined routines. 10 minutes of focused learning every day compounds. A short daily workout compounds. Moments of silence and reflection compound. Over time, these practices reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. This shift changes everything. Discipline also teaches patience. You learn to trust the process rather than chase instant rewards. In a world addicted to speed, patience becomes a competitive advantage. While others quit when progress is slow, you continue. While others change direction constantly, you stay consistent. This is how time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. If you want proof that success has no age, look at your own past. Think of habits you practice consistently and how they shaped you. Now imagine applying that same consistency intentionally toward growth. The future is not created by wishing for more time, but by respecting the time you have today. So stop negotiating with yourself. Decide once and act daily. Discipline will carry you further than motivation ever could. Start now, stay consistent, and let time reveal the strength you are building. People place too much power on age. They let a number define their limits, their confidence, and their courage. At a young age, they feel rushed, pressured, impatient. At an older age, they feel disqualified, hesitant, and doubtful. But age itself does nothing. It does not build strength. It does not create wisdom. It does not stop growth. Only consistency does that. What you practice repeatedly becomes who you are, regardless of how many years you have lived. The body does not respond to age. It responds to stress and recovery applied consistently. The mind does not respond to age. It responds to focus, repetition, and challenge. Character does not respond to age. It responds to choices made again and again. You can be young and weak because you avoid effort. You can be older and powerful because you chose discipline. The difference is not time. The difference is consistency. Consistency is the quiet force most people underestimate. They look for intensity. They look for shortcuts. They look for dramatic change. But life does not reward drama. It rewards stability. Doing the right thing once does nothing. Doing the right thing for a week feels good but changes little. Doing the right thing for months reshapes habits. Doing it for years reshapes identity. That is strength, that is mastery. People often say, I will start when I have more energy, or more confidence, or more time. This thinking delays growth indefinitely. Consistency does not wait for perfect conditions. It adapts to imperfect ones. Even small effort done regularly is more powerful than big effort done rarely. A small daily discipline beats occasional motivation every time. Look closely at your daily life. Your routines already exist. You are already consistent at something. Maybe consistent at distraction, consistent at procrastination, consistent at self-doubt. Consistency itself is not the problem. Direction is. Once you change the direction of consistency, everything changes. The same repetition that once weakened you can now strengthen you. Age becomes irrelevant when consistency is present. When you show up daily, the body becomes more capable. When you challenge the mind daily, clarity improves. When you choose responsibility daily, self-respect grows. These changes do not ask how old you are. They ask how committed you are. Many fear starting late because they imagine the gap between where they are and where they want to be. That gap feels overwhelming. But consistency does not focus on the gap. It focuses on the next step. One step taken daily closes distances faster than you think. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes familiar. Consistency also builds trust within yourself. When you repeatedly do what you said you would do, your inner dialogue changes. You stop questioning your ability to follow through. You stop negotiating with excuses. Confidence becomes calm and grounded. This inner stability is real strength. It is not loud. It is not emotional. It is reliable. Strength is not aggression. Strength is endurance. It is the ability to continue when progress feels slow. It is the ability to repeat simple actions without praise or validation. This kind of strength can only be built through consistency. No shortcut exists, and that is good news because it means anyone willing to commit can build it. Do not confuse consistency with perfection. Consistency allows mistakes. It allows rest. It allows adjustment. What it does not allow is quitting. Missing one day does not break consistency. Giving up does. Learn to return quickly. Learn to restart without drama. This skill alone separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. When you accept that success has no age, pressure disappears. You stop racing against others. You stop comparing timelines. You focus inward. You measure progress by effort, not by speed. This shift brings clarity and peace. Growth becomes sustainable instead of exhausting. If today you begin a small daily practice and protect it, you are already building strength. If tomorrow you repeat it, you are proving that age has no authority over discipline. Keep going. Let consistency do its quiet work. Over time it will build more than results. It will build you. Every day you wake up you are training something, whether you are aware of it or not. Life does not pause your development just because you are tired, confused, or unmotivated. There is no neutral ground. Each day is a vote. A vote for growth or a vote for excuses. A vote for strength or a vote for weakness. Most people believe that doing nothing means staying the same, but that is an illusion. Doing nothing is training decline. When you choose to delay, you are not resting, you are rehearsing avoidance. When you ignore what needs to be done, you are strengthening resistance. The mind learns quickly. It learns patterns. If you repeatedly choose comfort over effort, comfort becomes your default. If you repeatedly choose effort over comfort, effort becomes natural. This is how identity is formed. Not through big decisions, but through daily choices that seem small and insignificant in the moment. Many people think they will change when life forces them to, when pain becomes unbearable, when fear becomes real. But by then, the habit of avoidance is already strong. It is much harder to act under pressure if you have trained excuses for years. This is why daily discipline matters. Not because every day brings visible progress, but because every day trains your response to life. Excuses are subtle. They sound reasonable. I am tired today. I will start tomorrow. I deserve a break. Just this once. The problem is not one excuse. The problem is repetition. Repeated excuses build a weak internal structure. Over time, you stop trusting yourself. You stop believing your own intentions. This is not because you are incapable, but because you trained inconsistency. On the other side, growth is also trained quietly. Waking up when it is uncomfortable. Doing the work when no one is watching. Continuing when results are slow. These actions send a different message to the nervous system. They say I can rely on myself. I do not collapse under discomfort. I act even when it is difficult. This creates inner stability. That stability becomes confidence. Not loud confidence, but calm confidence. Understand this clearly. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your training. If you train avoidance, stress will break you. If you train discipline, pressure will sharpen you. Life will test you eventually. The question is, what have you been training daily? People often wait for clarity before acting. But clarity comes from action, not from thinking. Action creates feedback. Feedback creates learning. Learning creates growth. When you avoid action, you avoid learning. When you avoid learning, you stay the same. This is why excuses feel safe, but lead to stagnation. Even your thoughts are being trained daily. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes your inner voice. If you repeat I cannot, it becomes belief. If you repeat I will try tomorrow, it becomes identity. But if you repeat I do what I can today, even if it is small, your mind adapts to responsibility. Thought discipline matters as much as physical action. Do not underestimate the cost of one unexamined day repeated many times. Years pass quickly when days are wasted. Then people panic. They rush. They try to change everything at once. This creates burnout. Sustainable growth is built differently. It is built by respecting the power of one day. Each day is an opportunity to train alignment. Alignment between what you say and what you do. When these two match, energy flows. When they do not, friction grows inside you. That friction becomes stress, self-doubt, and frustration. Daily action, even small, reduces this inner conflict. You are not required to do everything. You are required to do something. One honest action. One disciplined choice. One moment where you choose growth instead of excuse. That is enough for today. Tomorrow you repeat. Over time, this repetition changes your relationship with effort. What once felt heavy becomes normal. Stop asking if today matters. It does. Stop asking if it is too small. It is not. The direction matters more than the size. Growth compounds silently. Excuses also compound silently. Choose what you want to become and train it daily. So remember this when you wake up. Today you will train something. Choose wisely. Build strength on purpose. And let each day move you forward. Many people carry a quiet shame inside them. A voice that says you should have started earlier. You missed your chance. You are behind. This voice sounds convincing because it uses time as evidence. But this belief is flawed. Starting late is not failure. Refusing to start is. Delay does not destroy your potential. Staying still does. Life does not give everyone the same starting point. Some are born into structure, guidance, and support. Others grow up in chaos, confusion, or survival mode. Some discover direction early. Others spend years just trying to understand themselves. None of this is failure. It is context. Failure only appears when you allow your past to decide your future. Starting late often carries an advantage people ignore. It brings awareness. When you begin later, you know what not to do. You have seen the cost of distraction. You have felt the weight of wasted time. That pain can become fuel if you use it correctly. But if you turn it into self-judgment, it becomes a chain. Most people do not fail because they start late. They fail because they stop. They stop when progress is slow. They stop when discipline feels uncomfortable. They stop when results do not match expectations. Quitting is disguised as realism. But in truth, it is fear of sustained effort. Look closely at stagnation. It rarely looks dramatic. It looks quiet, comfortable, familiar. Days repeat, weeks blur. You feel busy but not fulfilled. This is the danger of staying still. It slowly drains ambition without triggering urgency. One day you realize years have passed and nothing meaningful has changed. Movement breaks this pattern immediately. Even imperfect movement creates momentum. When you take action, you shift from victim of time to participant in life. You stop asking why me and start asking what now. This shift restores power. Power comes from action, not from perfect planning. Starting late requires humility. You must accept being a beginner. You must accept not knowing. Ego resists this. Ego wants to appear capable without effort. But growth demands surrender. Surrender to the process. Surrender to learning. Surrender to being uncomfortable. This humility becomes strength when combined with consistency. Staying still protects ego, but weakens spirit. You avoid embarrassment. You avoid failure. But you also avoid progress. The spirit grows through challenge. When you deny a challenge, it becomes restless and dissatisfied. That dissatisfaction often turns into anger or numbness. Movement, even small, relieves this pressure. People often say, I will start when I feel confident. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. Confidence follows proof. Each small action provides evidence that you can move. Evidence builds belief. Belief builds momentum. This is why staying still is so dangerous. It prevents the creation of proof. Time does not punish late starters. It only exposes inactivity. If you begin today and remain consistent, time will amplify your effort. If you wait, time will amplify regret. This choice is made daily, not once. Every morning you decide whether to move or to remain still. Starting late also teaches focus. You become selective. You stop wasting energy on what does not matter. You value effort more. You protect your time. These qualities accelerate growth. Many early starters lack this urgency and drift. Late starters often move with intention. The mind will test you. It will remind you of others who are ahead. It will replay missed opportunities. Do not fight these thoughts emotionally. Observe them. Then return to action. Progress silences doubt more effectively than argument ever could. Remember this clearly. You cannot change when you should have started. You can only change whether you start now. Stillness keeps you trapped in imagined timelines. Movement anchors you in reality. Reality responds to effort. So release the idea that you are late. You are here. You are capable. Begin where you stand. Take the step. Continue tomorrow. That is how you move forward. People are often drawn to big plans. They want dramatic changes, powerful routines, complete life transformations that happen fast. It looks impressive to talk about changing everything at once. But real change does not work that way. Big plans without consistency collapse under pressure. Small actions done daily quietly reshape who you are. This is how identity changes, not through intensity, but through repetition. Your mind learns through evidence. It does not believe words, it believes patterns. When you tell yourself you will change and then do nothing, the mind learns doubt. When you take one small action and repeat it every day, the mind learns reliability. Over time, this reliability becomes self-trust. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence and discipline. Small actions lower resistance. When a task feels too big, the nervous system reacts with stress. Stress leads to avoidance. Avoidance creates guilt. Guilt drains energy. This cycle keeps people stuck. Small actions break the cycle. They feel manageable. You can start without negotiation. Starting is often the hardest part, and small actions make starting possible. Many underestimate the power of compounding. A small effort seems insignificant today, but repeated over time it creates exponential results. 5 minutes of focus each day becomes hours of mastery over months. A short daily walk becomes endurance and health over years. A few pages of reading daily becomes knowledge and clarity. The effect is invisible at first, which is why many quit. They judge progress too early. Big plans also rely heavily on motivation. They require high energy and perfect conditions. When energy drops, the plan collapses. Small actions do not demand much energy. They survive bad days. They fit into busy schedules. They adapt to life. This makes them sustainable. Identity shifts when behavior shifts. You do not wake up one day and suddenly become disciplined. You become disciplined by acting like a disciplined person in small ways daily. When you show up even briefly, you reinforce a new self-image. I am someone who trains. I am someone who learns. I am someone who follows through. This internal narrative grows stronger with repetition. People often wait to feel like a new person before acting differently. This is reversed. Act differently first, and the feeling follows. Small actions are powerful because they bypass emotional resistance. You do not need to feel ready to take a small step. You just take it. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum reduces friction. What was once difficult becomes automatic. Habits form. Decision fatigue decreases. You spend less energy convincing yourself and more energy doing the work. This is how daily discipline becomes effortless over time. Another mistake people make is underestimating the value of direction. A small step in the right direction is infinitely more valuable than a large step in the wrong one. Big plans often lack clarity. Small actions allow constant adjustment. You learn as you go. You correct mistakes early. This keeps progress aligned. Small actions also protect you from burnout. Burnout happens when effort exceeds recovery for too long. Small daily actions respect the body and mind. They allow growth without exhaustion. This is especially important for long-term success. Do not confuse small actions with small thinking. The vision can be big. The method must be small, hold a clear direction, but walk toward it one step at a time. This creates stability. When you look back after months of consistency, the change feels sudden. Others call it overnight success. But you know the truth. It was built quietly, daily, without drama. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Choose one small action that aligns with who you want to become. Do it today, repeat it tomorrow. Let identity reshape itself through consistency. Progress begins the moment you stop looking outward and turn inward with honesty. As long as responsibility is placed on circumstances, people, age, or luck, growth remains blocked. Responsibility is not blame, it is power. The moment you accept full responsibility for who you are becoming, you regain control over your direction. Many misunderstand responsibility as pressure or self-criticism. In reality, responsibility is clarity. It is seeing your life as a result of repeated choices. This understanding can feel uncomfortable at first because it removes excuses. But it also removes helplessness. When you know your actions matter, effort becomes meaningful. Without responsibility, effort is inconsistent. You try when it feels good and stop when it feels hard. With responsibility, effort becomes stable. You act because it is your duty to your future self. This shift changes how you approach difficulty. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can I do now? Responsibility also changes how you see failure. Failure stops being a verdict on your ability and becomes feedback. If something does not work, you adjust instead of quitting. This mindset keeps you moving forward. Movement creates learning. Learning creates progress. Taking responsibility means owning your habits. Habits are not random. They are choices repeated until they feel automatic. When you own your habits, you realize you can change them. Not overnight, but gradually. This realization builds confidence rooted in reality, not fantasy. Many people wait for external validation to feel motivated. Praise, recognition, approval. Responsibility shifts motivation inward. You act because it aligns with your standards, not because someone is watching. This creates integrity. Integrity strengthens identity. Responsibility also simplifies life. You stop overthinking. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You focus on what is within your control. This reduces mental noise and increases focus. Energy that was wasted on excuses becomes available for action. Growth becomes intentional when responsibility is accepted. You choose practices that serve you. You remove habits that weaken you. You protect your time. You become selective. This discipline is not restriction. It is self-respect. Taking responsibility does not mean doing everything alone. It means choosing how you respond to support and challenge. You seek guidance. You ask questions. You learn. But you do not outsource your effort. Effort remains your responsibility. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, momentum begins. Even small actions feel powerful because they are chosen consciously. Conscious action builds presence. Presence strengthens focus. Responsibility also deepens patience. You understand that growth takes time. You stop demanding instant results. You trust the process because you are committed to it. This patience keeps you consistent. Accepting responsibility is a daily practice. Each day you recommit. Each day you choose effort over excuse. This repetition shapes character. If you want progress, start here. Take ownership of your direction. Act with intention. Let responsibility guide your steps forward. There is a quiet strength in working without the need to be seen. Most people want recognition before results. They want applause before effort. But real growth happens away from attention, in moments no one is watching. Building yourself quietly every day protects your focus and preserves your energy. Noise distracts. Silence sharpens. When you announce your goals too early, you divide your attention. Part of your energy goes into explaining. Part goes into defending. Part goes into proving. This weakens execution. Quiet work removes this pressure. You do not need approval to act. You do not need validation to continue. The work itself becomes the reward. Daily quiet effort also keeps ego in check. Ego wants shortcuts. Ego wants to appear successful without becoming capable. When you work quietly, ego has nothing to feed on. This allows skill and discipline to grow naturally. You become more concerned with improvement than image. Silence also builds resilience. When no one is cheering, you learn to rely on internal standards. You continue because it matters to you, not because it looks impressive. This internal motivation is stable. It does not collapse when attention disappears. Many people talk about plans but avoid execution. Talking feels productive without being productive. Quiet work exposes truth. Either you did the work or you did not. There is no illusion. This honesty accelerates growth. Building quietly also reduces comparison. When you are not broadcasting progress, you are less tempted to measure yourself against others. Comparison creates impatience. Impatience leads to quitting. Silence keeps you grounded in your own process. Daily practice done quietly compounds. Results arrive gradually, then suddenly. When results finally show, they speak clearly. No explanation is needed. People notice consistency, not announcements. Quiet building also protects momentum. Praise can create pressure. Criticism can create doubt. Both disrupt focus. When you stay quiet, you move steadily regardless of external reaction. This approach requires patience and confidence. You must trust the process without constant reassurance. This trust is built through repetition. Each day you show up quietly, trust strengthens. Remember that lasting success is not loud, it is stable, it endures because it is built on discipline, not attention. Work in silence. Build daily. And when the time comes, let your results speak for you. As you leave with these words, remember this one truth above all. Your age does not define your potential. Your past does not limit your future. What shapes your life is what you choose to do every single day. Small actions, quiet discipline, consistent effort. This is how strength is built. This is how identity is formed. And this is how success arrives. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait to feel ready. Begin where you are. Use what you have. Build yourself patiently and honestly. Some days will feel slow. Some days will feel heavy. Keep going anyway. Growth is happening even when you cannot see it. Stay disciplined. Stay consistent. Trust the process. And one day, without announcement, you will realize you have become someone stronger than you ever imagined. I wish you courage on your path, discipline in your practice, and clarity in your direction. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for listening.